Oh, that's kind of exciting.
And the message I got in a dream was that if people stop mowing their lawns and plant one poplar tree, that will not make things better, but it will keep things from getting dramatically worse. And I was like, I don't know, this is crazy. Like, people aren't going to stop mowing their lawns. Okay, so if I want to start talking to people about not mowing their lawns, I need to stop mowing my lawn, and I need to start doing something with that lawn mowing that makes sense to other people. So, and to myself. So then I just had already been scything, but I got myself a really good scythe, and then I started scything just my garden.
Standing around with a scythe. I don't know, you feel badass when you've got a scythe.
It's pretty badass.
Yeah, and my like mom vest and a cup of tea. It's
Yeah.
badass.
So, in relation to scything, can you talk about the grass carbon sink theory with the roots and stuff?
Yeah, I kind of developed this concept of how this works from Charles Williams, who was one of my permaculture teachers, who was talking about how cattle can sequester carbon. When the top of the grass gets chewed off by a cow, then the bottom of the grass is sequestered in the ground. So when you're scything, you're essentially letting the grass grow to a certain height and then cutting it down. So you're mimicking the activity of a cow. You're eating the top of the grass, taking it away, and then the roots are left in the ground. And when the top gets cut off, then the bottom parts of the root die back and are left in the ground. And then that's sequestered carbon. And the cool thing about that is this is how ancient prairie soils were made, is by cattle grazing or buffalo or deer, and then this root dieback is how these like ancient, really deep soils were created.
So then I'm curious with lawn mowing, doesn't it also just mimic that?
Well, the problem is the grass never gets a chance to grow very long. So if it only grows this tall and then you cut it, then the root dieback is going to be really on a very small scale.
Right.
So I've heard that the best time to scythe the grass is when it's at 3/4 of its maturity. But also I've heard that it's good for grass to go to seed every once in a while for it to be healthier. So I try to scythe it down before it goes to seed. In theory, this is a way of turning your lawn into food just by growing your grass too long.
Any thoughts on the community aspect and something you'd like to start seeing? Or
I just feel like this kind of farming requires a lot of human energy. It's not like one man against 100 acres on his tractor. The more people who are touching the soil and working with the soil, the more this kind of bigger human nature healing process can happen. It's a great thing to do as a human being, to be outside gardening. It's good for your body, it's good for your mind, it's good to see all of these other life forms and interact with them and form relationships with them, and every year to look forward to these cyclical reoccurrences of, this blooms once a year. It's like this color only exists once a year, and just having those longings and those, that kind of yearning to find those things and to have a connection with them and a cyclical relationship with these other beings. And I also think that is what culture is this connection. Culture means connection. So connection to the plants and the food and the land around us, and people working together in gardens is a great way to make some kind of stable culture that can help move us forward into what's coming next.